Is Logan Angel. I'm a student at Queen's University of Charlotte. This is my final project for History of Design. I'll be talking to you about Ukiyo-e, a design movement in Japan from the late 1600s to the early 1900s. So, common aesthetics of Ukiyo-e were that they were block prints of paintings that were made by a master painter. What they do is they make an impression print out of wood blocks and they produce it on paper. And one common aspect of most ukiyo-e prints, and for that matter most Japanese art prints, would be the inkan, or the artist seal. It's kind of hard to see, but it's down there in the bottom right corner of this picture right here. Some of the more notable people of ukiyo-e are Hishikawa Moronobu. He was the founder of ukiyo-e in the 1670s. Another one would be Suzuki Harunobu, and he is the one who made ukiyo-e into a full-color print. And this caused the previous style of ukiyo-e prints to go out of fashion. And then there's Hiroshige, who was highly influential in Europe. His artwork was exported in the 1800s, and the Europeans saw it, and particularly Monet and Van Gogh were influenced by the style. So ukiyo-e will be mass-produced on paper, and this would allow them to sell the same print over and over again, which is good for the common man since they could afford cheaply made mass-produced prints, as opposed to the more upper-class citizens of Japan who would typically buy original paintings from the artists. Most common subject matter would include landscapes, tales from history, theater, pleasure, geishas, who were like the high-class entertainers, and the courtesans. Well, hopefully you know what those are. Sumo wrestlers, and occasionally you'd get artists who would depict sex in their works, although this wasn't legally sanctioned by the government of Japan at the time. So, one of the big influences of ukiyo-e is the urbanization brought about by the beginning of the Edo period in the 17th century. And the reason you see a lot of the lower class in ukiyo-e prints in nature is that's what it was allowed. Typically you didn't have political events or upper class civilians displayed in these prints because once again these were not legally sanctioned by the Japanese government. Some of the excellences of ukiyo-e was actually on European art movements. The Expressionist movement was in full swing in the 1800s, and so you saw the influence of ukiyo-e in that. And like I said before, Monet and Vincent van Gogh were in love with ukiyo-e, and they saw influence in their works. Also, the Art Nouveau movement had strong ties with the ukiyo-e. So the end of the ukiyo-e movement came about, or started up, in 1868 the Meiji Restoration. Japan had been an isolated nation for a few hundred years, and for the first time it opened up their borders. The importing of Western culture caused Japanese to favor Western-style art, and Ukiyo-e fell out of favor in Japan. But this was good for Europe, however, since that brought Ukiyo-e to Europe. So, once again, this is my project on Ukiyo-e. I'm Logan Angel, a student at Queen's University, and this is for History of Design.